What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we're back with One Piece chapter 914. Now, this is a chapter that I've seen quite a few people saying that they don't really like because, I don't know, I guess it wasn't as fast paced or as action packed as they hoped it would be, especially seeing as the editors and Oda himself has hyped up Wano, and they've hyped up to be such a large scale war that I guess everyone's just eager to get into the action, and that's very understandable because I'm kind of like that too. Like, when people hype up certain parts of an arc or certain aspects of an arc, like the fact that this is going to be a huge scale war, it just makes you want to see that part of the arc a lot more, and it might even make you a bit more disinterested about all the other stuff that the arc has to offer. But seeing as this is the beginning of the arc, I understand why Oda's doing this, because he always does this kind of stuff at the start of arcs. He introduces the island, introduces a problem, and that's what Luffy then works towards solving. And seeing as this arc was mainly about taking out Kaido before and liberating Wano for Momonosuke's sake, Oda's now introducing people within Wano that Luffy wants to help. Like, what this chapter was in my eyes was Oda giving Luffy a bit more motivation to actually defeat Kaido. All of these people who have been forced to live in poverty because of Kaido. And seeing as Tama used to know Ace and was really close with Ace, that's just even more motivation for Luffy to help her get out of this situation. So yeah, I don't really mind this setup chapter too much, but it was a lot less action packed compared to all of the other stuff that's been going on lately with like the Hawkins versus Zoro situation and all of that type of stuff. So I understand where people are coming from when they say they don't really like this chapter. But yeah, although this wasn't as action-packed, I do think there were really interesting things that were revealed in this chapter that could raise a lot of questions and could mean quite a bit for the characters later on. So the main thing that comes to mind when I say this is Kiku. So it was explained that all of the people that live in this town are basically the leftovers, and judging by one of the logos that was printed on some tent type of thing that they were sitting next to, I'm assuming that all of these people are the remnants of whoever was loyal to the Kozuki clan before Orochi took over. So all of these people used to be loyal to Oden, but they've now been pushed aside and forced to live in poverty because Orochi took over. And the thing about Kiku that was revealed in this chapter is that she's a samurai, and that Kiku used to live in the place where the government of Wano officially resides. So she used to live in a pretty good area, and I'm assuming since she's a samurai, she used to actually be maybe one of the royal guards of some sorts for Oden or for the government members that used to live there, which could potentially make her really strong, or at least a really capable fighter. And I find it really interesting that Oda's setting this up, and especially in the way that he's setting this up, because I feel like this could give a lot of character development for Zoro. Because I feel like Kiku's character resembles Kuina a lot, but at the same time they're complete opposites. Because one thing that Kuina always used to say is that she could never be a master swordsman, and that she could never be as strong as a man was because she was a woman. So, but what's interesting about Kiku is that although she, well, at least appears to be a woman, whenever she speaks of herself or introduces herself, she refers to herself as a man. So the fact that she's not only a swordsman but also refers to herself as a man could remind Zoro a little bit of Kuina. Especially if it turns out that she is really strong and is really a capable fighter, because then it would disprove everything that Kuina was saying before and prove to Zoro at least that Kuina could have been something. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two interact later on in the arc, especially seeing as at the end of this chapter, Kiku looks like she's about to fight, so we could get a fight between her and Batman in the near future. So I'm not only looking forward to seeing how strong she actually is, but I'm also looking forward to seeing how Zoro reacts to how she fights, and whether or not her fighting style also resembles Kuina as well. I'm not saying that she is Kuina, by the way. I'm just saying that her being how she is and the little details that Oda has given us about her character could mean something for her or for Zoro in the future. So I really do look forward to seeing that. But yeah, seeing as I mentioned Batman a second ago, I may as well talk about him for a second. In terms of his character design, he seems extremely fodder. Like, he doesn't really look like he's of any importance to Kaido. Like, he doesn't look strong just by his character design, but if we're going by his title or his rank, he has the same title as Hawkins did. I guess we're gonna have to wait a little bit just to see whether this title correlates with power level at all, or whether it's just a rank that's given out to specific members regardless of their level. It could just be based on where they're stationed in Wano. Seeing as Kiku said there are only 3 headliners that reside in this area. If I had to guess right now, I'd say Hawkins is probably the stronger out of the 3, and then Batman and Gazelle Man are probably around the same level, a bit underneath Hawkins, seeing as Hawkins is a supernova and part of the worst generation as well. So I just naturally assume that he's going to be stronger than most of the enemies that we have to face anyway. And he is also a captain himself, whereas Gazelle Man and Batman just seem like fodder infantry for Kaido, so who knows. But yeah, even though Wano so far has been more about world building than it has been about action, there is one thing that I'm really enjoying, and that's the designs of everything. Like, I'm a massive weeb, so I'm really enjoying seeing all of the Japanese architecture and clothing, all in like a traditional Japanese style, but with a One Piece spin on it. Like all of the designs for the houses and the landscapes and all of that type of stuff, I'm really enjoying what Oda's doing with that. And it's really making me look forward to seeing some of the more civilized areas, because obviously this is like a broken down dump, basically, like they're living in poverty. But we all know that when we start getting into the areas that are run by the government, we're gonna start seeing a lot more luxurious designs. Like just look at New Marie Joie, for example, and the throne and all of that type of stuff. Like the design for that is amazing. So I can only imagine what Oda's gonna do when we start seeing the castle and all of that type of stuff in Wano. Like I can only imagine what Kaido's headquarters are gonna look like. But yeah, seeing as not much actually happened this chapter, I'm gonna leave the review here. Let me know in the comment section whether you guys were part of the group that liked this chapter or whether you were part of the group that disliked it. As of right now, I'm kind of in the middle. I liked it for what it was, but I also do feel like Oda could have done a bit more with it. But as I said, this is all still just set up, so I'm not really expecting too much from these first few chapters of Wano anyway. So yeah, as I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already for more of that One Piece content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.